All right, folks, it is 11 o'clock. I'm going to start recording just out of respect for everyone's time. It's so great to see you. I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who's completed their reflection. We had an amazing turnout. There are only a few stragglers out there. If you are sitting there saying, I forgot to do my reflection, or you have an extenuating circumstance, make sure you've communicated that with me. But generally, most of you showing up right now, I want to just say that I see you, I see your hard work, and I'm so grateful to be working with you this year. I think we're really setting a new legacy of what we can do to help our writers do their best work. So today we're going to spend a moment or two using some real resources. And I realize I should slow down since so many people are joining. Okay. On your own, I want you to type in my website. So I'm putting that in the chat, is.gd/shsmc. And I want you to start building your habit of going to my website and going to the extended essay page. Okay. So to repeat, for those of you that just joined, I'm thrilled with your extended essay reflection progress. There are a few people out there that still need to get it done, but we had an overwhelming majority of people complete that on time. So I want to thank you. And then we're also going to do one tiny little thing for your supervisors. Okay. Okay. So to start today with the official business, you are going to my website, and then you are going to click on the extended essay website, which means you should be on a page that looks like this. Okay. And when this loads, when you click under research, you should see that there's extended essay resources. And this is the page we're going to work off today. Okay. We are making use of these links today so that we look for the information that we need within the provided resources. I feel like we've almost made life too easy for you. This is the Google slideshow that I've been working off of since March 10th. And of course, it doesn't automatically load. So I've now embedded that. And that's always our reminder to start these sessions with our acknowledgement of the Ohlone and Ramaytush land on which we learn and thrive. And then today we're jumping to slide 21, where we are going to talk about these items. And clearly I have a multiple personality because I'm on that slideshow in a couple different ways. All right, so today we're going to talk about my resource page that I just mentioned. We're going to talk about in-text citations using page 14 to 16 of the IBECR, that's shortened for Effective Citing and Resources Guide. We're also going to do a quick nod to footnotes. I don't know that we'll have time to really get into that. And then I want to acknowledge word count on your essay. And so I want everyone to take a minute right there to open up pages 14 to 16 of the IBECR. And that can be found under citation tools. Okay. And you click on this first link with work cited, and it takes you right to that ECR. Okay. So take a second to open up page 14 to 16. Looks like this. I need to rotate mine so y'all can see it. And we're going to talk about that. So take a minute to get there. If someone wants to throw the link in the chat, please do so.
Sorry, where's this found?
I'm going to let someone else tell us. Let's hear. I want to hear that people know how to get here. Can you see the chat? Okay, and the is.gd/shsmc, that needs to be burned in your brain at this point. If you look at my messy desktop right here, you see I have my bookmark bar is always showing, and this purple dot, the Media Center, is the Media Center website. This is where you need to get in the habit of going. Once you're at the Media Center website, you know that under Research 2021, you have extended essay resources. Okay, and that's where we're working off today for the entire day. So again, I feel like we've enabled students for too long just to like wait for the slideshow. She'll give me the link. I need you all, especially as we start gearing up for summer and for that independent progress, I need y'all to sit down and feel comfortable knowing how to get to all this stuff without me there. Okay, so right here, when you arrived here, we click on citation tools, and now we're on the citation station. You may have noticed that citation station's also in the top bar. If you did, great. Okay, this first link here, Works Cited, takes you to the extended essay effective citing and referencing guide, shortened to ECR, and we're gonna look at pages 14 to 16. Okay, everybody ready? You'll notice that I'm rotating my document. You can do so as well. And this is what we want to talk about today, because I do hear from your supervisors, right? And so, well, I know that your writing hasn't started yet for most of you, I would say. The questions are coming up. Am I supposed to teach them how to do the citations, or will you? So I want to make sure that everyone has this opportunity to review effective citing and effective citing and referencing, so that we have a firm, appropriate model moving forth. Okay, now without me doing all the talking here, this is going to be a little bit of a reading exercise. First, you have to remember that everyone does reading, and that's what this source material is over here on the right. Okay, so the example here is using the integrity, or the academic integrity article, as the basis, as the example resource, right? Here's the reference, which gives you the actual citation for that work. Okay, so you can see the reference shows the who, in this case, J. Carroll, when, July 2012, what was it called? The title, Academic Honesty in the IB. And it was an IB position paper, and it's located at this blog. Now, here's where you have to remember that these examples are consistent within the examples. As a school, we use what's the Modern Language Association approach for citations. So yours might look a tiny bit different, but the concept is the same, okay? So what I want you to draw from this, or these pages, is that you have a source document and you have different ways of acknowledging that document within your work. Okay, so you can cite your printed sources in different ways. One, you can just simply mention the author's name. And here we have an example. Who would like to read this example for me? I'll just let you jump on the mic so I don't have to call on anybody. I need someone to read that blue portion. Logan, since you were last on the mic, would you mind?
Sure.
Thanks.
Carol points out that deliberate breaches form a relatively small proportion of dishonesty cases, whereas up to 80% in most recent years involve misuse of others' work through plagiarism or collusion.
And then we have the page number 2.
Yeah,
excellent, thank you.
two.
Okay, so this is a perfectly satisfactory citation. You're acknowledging the author's work, you say the page number, and I want to point out that this is absolutely satisfactory if you are using the quotations, right? The quotations indicate exact phrasing is being reused, and then you give the page number to let the author know, or let your reader know, in this case, where you got that work from. Once you do this, you don't need to redo it again. That's a citation. Okay, but say you feel like that's too informal, you can use the author date approach, in which it says here, I'm going to let somebody else read that. Somebody else jump on.
Carol reminds us that deliberate breaches form a relatively small proportion of dishonesty cases, whereas up to 80% in most years involve the misuse of others' work through plagiarism or collusion. 2012 to.
Great, thank you. Who was that? I didn't see the name pop up.
Ben Hughes.
Okay, thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. Right, okay. So remember, we are also, again, using the author's name, and this time we're getting the date and that page number, okay? Absolutely appropriate. I'm going to show you the MLA way of doing both of these in just a minute, okay? And then finally, you have a numbered footnote, which I think is the hardest at your level of writing to wrap your brain around, because then you start going, oh my gosh, do I need to footnote my entire paper? And a footnote looks like this. It's the same exact quote or same exact words as Carol has noted as the introduction. You have your direct quote, and then you have your tiny upper registered number here, superscript, I guess is what it's called. And then you have the bibliographic information as well. I will say mostly people use footnotes when they want to say something about that source that isn't obvious. So I think it's probably unlikely that you'll use this format now. And again, I'll show you in the MLA way what you might say, and I'll show you also some funny examples of footnotes. Okay, in case you're panicking, like, oh my gosh, this is getting too serious too quickly, I just want to go over this now so that you feel like you have the tools to make some decisions. IB is not going to penalize you for doing it incorrectly on purpose, right? If you pick one style and you're consistent, great, they will acknowledge that. This is my invitation for you to consider which of these styles works for you, and then use MLA, because I know you also have IB history papers due, and I'm hearing that some people may not be familiar with this. So this is a great reminder. All right, so let's say that you're not feeling the direct quotations and you would rather paraphrase. You have these other options. So first of all, before someone reads the option, can you tell me what fact we're citing here? Who can tell me what we're learning from this example? What are they saying about breaches of academic integrity?
That they're mostly due to plagiarism and collusion versus like actually trying to do it on purpose.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I kind of think like collusion is deliberate, but it's usually like using somebody else's work or saying, hey, can I borrow your paper? Or do you have an old essay I can use? It's rare that they're just like lifting from books and getting that part wrong. So that being said, I know you're all doing your independent work. And again, this is such a huge part of my acknowledgement to you all, that the fact that you're sitting here and you're ready to talk about this shows an incredible arrival for you all in your reading and your academic pursuits. Okay. All right. So let's talk about paraphrasing. You have an author date paraphrase, an author paraphrase, and the numbered footnote. And I just want to go over this first one right here because I think this is probably the most likely to be done. And who would like to read this sample? Highlighted in blue.
Can I read?
Yes, please.
Okay. While some students still try to bring unauthorized materials into examen rooms with a clear intent to cheat, the vast majority of breaches, 80%, relate to plagiarism and collusion. Establishing responsibility and intent in such cases is not always easy. And then Carol, page 2.
Yes. Okay. And notice there's no comma, and notice where the period falls. This is a really great way to diversify your citation. So I see a question in the chat. When I say be consistent, I mean that you're going to use all MLA format throughout the whole thing, and that you can diversify how you do this throughout the paper. So you can have an author paraphrase, and you can have an author direct quote later in the essay about something else. So you can absolutely mix and match, and I absolutely recommend that you do so. Okay, thanks to everybody who volunteered to read. I want you to note that this document goes on, and while I trust that you can read this on your own, I think a lot of people forget that it even exists. So the reminder on the slide is that we are looking at my resource page, which is my website. We're talking about pages 14 through 16 of the Effective Citing and Referencing Guide, because you should have to look back at that on your own. We're going to very quickly talk a little more about footnotes, and I want to talk about how this factors into your word count. Okay, because that's the other question is, oh, do I get to just continually cite things and then that makes my essay longer? So for that we're skipping the footnote thing for a second. We're going to go right to the extended essay guide, and I believe the page is 82. So let me just jump down there. moving my Zoom windows out of the way. Sorry, I have a really large monitor and a small desk, so you hear me scraping the surface. I know it's like nails on a chalkboard for me, but okay. So here's what I want to show you in the extended essay guide, because I know it's probably been a while since you've come back to that. Okay, and this gets into the presentation portion of our essay. Again, we are jumping to the final process here just so you can be thinking about all of this as you get started, and we will revisit some of these things, okay? So the part that I want to look at today here is about the word count, and you've all been told, oh, that's a 4,000 word essay. So yes, it is a 4,000 word essay, and I want to show you what's counted in that word count and what is not, okay? So included in the word count is your introduction, the main body, your conclusion, and you have some quotations, and then it says footnotes and endnotes that are not references. But then over here it says what's not included in the word count, and it lists the same thing right there: citations, references, whether parenthetical, numbered, footnotes, or endnotes. So it gets a little bit confusing. What I want you to, how I want you to approach that is by saying, okay, I'm not just lobbing in a big fat section or excerpt from a text as a way to increase my word count. That will not fly. Okay, so when you use quotations in your text, they will include that because it's understood that you're using a snippet, right? You're not taking or lifting a large portion. So I want to make sure that you know that it's okay to include short quotations, and that will be added to your word count. And yet not included in the word count are the actual citation and references, whether they are listed. So every time you list the author's name, you know, if you choose, oh, I'm going to list an article by 5 authors to give me a higher word count, that will not fly. Okay. Is that clear, or does anybody want me to repeat any of that? Okay. Overall, to sum up, we're not using citations and references as a way to increase our word count, right? We're using them where they apply to our argument and to our analysis. Okay, so again, this is page 82 on the guide. I'm back on my Media Center page. Just scrolling down, I know this is a little bit insane, it's all over the place. I've embedded this slideshow here. So we again have talked about item 1, item 2, we skipped item 3, we'll come back to that right now. We've looked at item 4, and let's go back to the citation station. Okay, all right, the other part of the citation station, Works Cited, takes you to the ECR. We have this little bit on footnotes because mostly because I want you to know that this Purdue Online Writing Lab is the standard, right? They embed all of these, or people often embed pages from this guide into their guides, and it's sort of like why reinvent the wheel here. Okay, and so here when you read about MLA, right, so we're talking about different styles of citation, and if you ever heard my research presentation, I always remind you that sure, in high school we're using MLA, but when you get to college, you have got to ask your professor, because it varies on region and subject area. So the graduate program I just did, we used APA, and that has become my go-to style. So let's just say that all of a sudden I were writing an IB paper and I happened to forget and I did it in that format, they would not dig me as long as I'm consistent. Okay, but you all should be getting that consistency down with your MLA, because I know you have your IB history items due soon. Okay, so MLA right here discourages extensive use of explanatory or digressive notes. They do allow you to use endnotes or footnotes for bibliographic notes, which refer to other publications your readers may consult, and they give you these examples. I highly doubt any of you are going to need to do that, but I think it's kind of cool to show you this example here where it says, or you can also use endnotes, footnotes for occasional explanatory notes, known as content notes, which refer to a brief additional information that might be too digressive for the main text. I'm sharing this because it's quite possible that some of you who are conducting some primary interviews, you may want to include a note about how that interview originated and a tiny explanation, and you would only do that once. Okay. So that's the idea about footnotes. I want to go back to my citation page to show you, even down here, we have some funnier footnotes here. We have an example of somebody who wrote an entire novel using footnotes, and it's just kind of funny to see how someone's exploiting that, that approach. And we have the actual pullout, picture that we were just reading from down here as well. And again, we have an example of just like an egregious footnote over here where somebody decided to write this entire paragraph, and I just don't see any of you doing that. So it's kind of fun to have a little chuckle to remember that we shouldn't take ourselves too seriously. And it's, these are the equivalents of like the cartoons as icebreakers. Okay. So that's what we have on quotations and footnotes. And then we have, let me see, let me just click here again. Oh yeah, okay, so I want to go back to the in-text citation basics for MLA and make sure that you know that this exists here. And for MLA format, it looks like this. It's a little bit different than the example we used, right? So we're looking at this portion right here. You are going to do these are the same 3 examples. You have the author page number reference. You have the author page number at the end, parenthetically. Notice there's no comma. And notice that the punctuation for the entire sentence is outside the parentheses. And then you have just the conversational mention of the author with no direct quote and the page number. Okay, so if you need to take a screenshot, let me zoom that in. This is the screenshot you want. Okay. And of course, I will publish this video since this has a lot more information than some of our other sessions. But still, I want to make sure that you understand where to find this information, right? It's a better gift for me to give you directions to the resources than it is for me to just constantly tell you these answers, right? You need to remember how you can look this up. And my hope is sincerely that you might even come back to this as a senior or in college to go, oh yeah, wait, I know where all that stuff is, okay? So are there any questions? Anyone want to jump on the mic and talk about some of these other examples? Okay, I know I'm not being a good model of wait time here, but I'm going to assume that, again, for just today, since we're so early in the writing process, that you're all saying, oh, yeah. Okay, we know where this is. And then I need to know, once you get started, if you want to revisit this as a group and do sort of a workshop, we can absolutely do that as well. Okay, and then the final reminder is that, remember, with tools, and I already went over this earlier, is that you have tools right here within your Google document. Okay, so if I go up to tools, I have citations right here, at which point I can change this to be the desired format. So it was already set to MLA, and then I add my citation. Was it a book? Was it a book section? Was it a website? Was it a journal? So maybe you're gonna cite my website, right? You could say the author is Miss Snow, so you could write in my name. Okay, I'm not going to go fill this all out because then you'll see all my crazy typos and I'm sitting at an odd angle. But you would go in and fill out all of this information and it generates the citation for you. In fact, let me just do this, I guess, really quickly. The Media Center. I'm just doing this again. Okay, publisher would be Sequoia High School, I guess. Not really, but okay, my URL, I'm putting my shortener in there just for fun because I want to show you the other cool thing. So I'm just going to say 2021. Today is April. Oh, sorry, I did that wrong. I can read. I really can read, folks, but I don't know the date. The day is the 28th. Access again, the 28th. Oh, okay, and then just put Media Center website. Okay, so now the cool thing is once I add this citation, right, it's right there. You can, if you're writing, you say, without even leaving your Google Doc, she says, and you can go ahead and say cite and look, it adds it in there. It just added my name in there for me. Okay. Now, again, the MLA citation will change depending on what you're using. If you're using a printed source, a not printed source, etc. So you should be able to go back to this in citation page and look up what you need, right? So it talks about print sources with unknown authors. It goes down by corporate sources or corporate authors with no known author. You get a lot of different examples, multiple editions, etc. So you can find what you need. Okay. Okay. I know that's a lot. Okay. Folks, help me out. Do you feel comfortable knowing where those resources are? Yes, I see a yes. Excellent. Thanks for participating. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now I want you to take a deep breath. Again, I'm so grateful for all of you for coming to this session on Wednesdays at 11. I'm so grateful that you were able to follow the directions and get your supervisors. You gave them notice, you gave them appropriate parameters to meet. And it looks like, again, the overwhelming majority was able to get that done. So I would like you to do one thing, and I'm going to give you a couple of choices. And that is, I want you to send your supervisor a thank you note. All right, now since it's Wednesday the 28th, this is not a formal assignment. This is just out of the goodness of your heart. I want to share a non-related thing, and that is Adobe Spark. Okay, I would love, next week is Teacher Appreciation Month. Okay, so if you haven't ever seen me do this demo, I love using Adobe Spark because you can make these graphics very quickly. So when you click sign in, you're going to click sign in with Google, and you're going to very quickly use your school ID, make a thank you graphic for your supervisor. Okay. It can be whatever you want. It can be a collage, a web page, a slideshow, a presentation. You can see I make all these, anything I put on social media. If you follow the Media Center, I had to do some clearing up of my communication today. So I made a quick graphic that says books are due when you're done, right? Books are due when you're done with them, so that people aren't like, are my books due? No, they're due when you're done. So anyway, I would like you to make something for your supervisor. So for example, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to make an Instagram post size, because that's easy. And on it, I want to just show you very quickly that you can just choose from a template, right? You don't even have to start from scratch. You go over here and you're like, okay, this one's cute. And instead of saying best mom, I'm going to say best teacher, which is also a reminder that Mother's Day is coming up too. May's a big whammy for some of us teachers / mothers. Okay. And then it lets me change that, right? Best soup. And then I know some people spell supervisor with an ER, but I like to spell with an OR. Okay. Anyway, so you see here, right now I've made this, it's cute, it's done. Change your color, do whatever you want, press download or share it, and send your supervisor something cute that says that you appreciate their time. Okay. Okay. All right. Now that's my, oh, look at that. It's 11:29. That's my content for today's session. Okay. So questions, jump on the mic, turn on those cameras. Let's pretend we're with each other in person.
I have a question about like books being
Sure.
due. I know you touched on this like when you're showing us like the Adobe Spark,
Yep.
but I got an email saying that when my books are overdue, is it okay if I still keep it?
You use it until you use it, because it didn't actually, it shouldn't have said overdue unless it was a book from last year. So I think
Okay.
that's where it comes down to too. The system generates what's on your account. So everyone should have gotten an email. Here's what's on your account. And it doesn't say that it's due. What shows up as overdue was anything from last year.
Okay.
Okay? So
Alright,
you
thank
keep
you.
everything until you're done. And then remember, if you have books from last year and you're too embarrassed to turn them in, like, oh God, I never turned these in, don't be embarrassed. We don't charge a fine. We just want the books back. Okay. Great question, Anna. Thank you.
Miss
Okay.
Nell?
Oh yeah, but on that note, am I going to give you a grade for making a thank you note for your supervisor? No, this is just that part that we do to be a community and to thank these wonderful teachers for taking and making time for you, taking time for you and making time for you. Okay, Logan.
So I was wondering, also on the topic of returning library books,
Sure.
one of the books I checked out for this year was already somewhat damaged when I checked it out,
That's fine.
and because of that, it's like kind of like there's like the binding's a little wonky. That's
Thank you.
fine?
And I have to say, I know it's the most conscientious students that are like worried about what they owe us. We just want the book back. We know you didn't get a brand spanking new book. Thanks, Logan.
Thank you.
Sure, anyone else? Questions? Okay, so at this point, if you are ready to continue your research, I'm imagining that a lot of y'all have some really great direction now that you sat down with your supervisor formally. Go ahead and carry on. You are working towards 500 words, and just kind of revisiting that too. Like we're gonna hope to have 1,500 words by summer. So that's another month, right? Exactly a month. If you're feeling like you have a block, like I just don't know how to start, think of the day we did the activity where you just sit down and you let your stream of consciousness onto the paper. It is absolutely okay to do that every time you've started a new source. Okay. Okay, so at this point, go ahead and jump off if you want. Stick around if you want to chat. We can go to breakout rooms. Actually, let's do that. Yeah, I'm going to open up some breakout rooms. And if you want to join a breakout room and wait to chat with me, otherwise have a great week and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Miss Snow.
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, are you okay not being in a breakout room? It's okay?
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I had my meeting with Miss Suba, and I just wanted to clarify if I should have her sign the same contract as Miss Cuffman, or if I should start a new contract.
Just share it with her, and then can she comment on it?
I think so.
Yeah, so that's what I would do, is just have her like, here, let me use an example.
Okay.
Wait, let me do this before I start sharing my screen though. We can get through all the muck. Okay, because we're in drives, supervisor. Contract, there we go. Okay, so if you remember, okay, so I'm gonna share this. This seems like a whole other world. Right, so you all put your links right here. So I would send her this, and then she should be able to just, all right, she'd have to open it with the thing. Just have her open it with Google Docs.
Okay.
She can just highlight and comment. That's fine with me. Does that make sense? So what she highlights it, and she's gonna go like this, and supervisor, she's gonna write her name in there, and she's gonna comment to say, I hope Miss Suba can comment here, right? Just that's her acknowledgement, because it'll say that she commented, right?
Okay.
That makes sense? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you remember where this is? It's your, should be in your drive.
Yes,
I
yeah.
just type in IBEE contracts.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Sorry to blast your personal thing there. Okay. All right, thanks, Anya. And then you're gonna get your reflection entered and managed back.
Okay.
I figured.
Bye.
I figured. Okay. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
I have a question about sources because I'm doing sorry, it's
Okay.
early. I'm doing research on depression and dreams, and there's these two studies from sites that I don't have access to because Victoria isn't affiliated with them. I don't know if you can like get access.
Yeah, I think your best bet is to probably throw them in. You can either put them in the chat right now, or you can send me an email,
Here,
and then I'll do my best or buy them if I have to.
Here, let me get. the links. Sorry, I need to
Okay.
open my doc. Okay, yeah, here's one. Wait, let me make sure this is it. Yeah, it's like from Science Direct. I don't know if
Yeah, we don't have Science Direct, but sometimes I can find a different access point. Did you already send me this a long time ago or no?
no, the other thing was for the like ethical guidelines from that.
Oh, right. Okay, so let me just see this something later. Okay, so the repetitive and frightening dreams, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, see, it is Elsevier, which is like super protective of their stuff. They're a highly contentious group here. Okay, let me see. I would like to. All right, so it's asking me, I want to reuse, purchase, order reprints, order e-prints. Let me see how much it would cost us to order. Oh my gosh. Let me just see what we're talking here. Why would it be reprints? Huh? Oh, you got to see this. Just to show you how much I hate this company and in the library world, without giving you too much minutia, is that because this company controls all of the access, so I just asked for an e-print. I don't require custom. I just need one-time printable. It wouldn't even let me pick one, and it's $5,000. So obviously we're gonna click a different set here. So let me do this. I'm taking the title. I'm just gonna show you how I do this because it's not. There's no. Let's see, Scholar. Yeah, I guess that did pop up Google Scholar, but right, putting it in there. Let's just see. All 10 versions. I wonder if one of these, I shouldn't have picked the non-English one, but I just want to see if it opens. It just shows that. Okay, well, so anyway, you see that, I wonder if, let me stop sharing now because it's going to keep jamming my tabs. Okay, I'm going to keep looking for that. I'm also going to suggest, so do you use Google Scholar generally or no?
Sometimes if I can't find it on like JSTOR or something, I like look on Google Scholar or Gale.
Okay, because what happened is I just pressed like this related articles, right? So you get all these other ones, and this one looks like you could be able to get to the PDF. Wait, let's see. See, so this looks like it gives you a PDF. I wonder if you can pull what you need from this article that's related. So I guess that's gonna be. I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you. That's my first advice is just to go. Oh my gosh.
That is a huge link.
That really just do that? Wow. That is hilarious. Okay. Anyway, I was gonna say my first, I like to do two things. I want to remind folks like not to get too caught up on just like one particular source. But in this case, if you need the copy of this experiment, I can find a way to purchase just the text. Let's see, full text. Access to my institution. Let me just try this. Actually, let me just go back and see how much is to purchase the PDF because it might only be like 20 bucks. Oh yeah, it's 40 bucks. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at that related article with the mega link, okay? And then I want you to email me and say, yes, I do think we should purchase it for $40 or no, we shouldn't, because I have money to do this for IB. Okay. Okay. So you're gonna.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, go ahead.
I think this one will work. I just need to like find out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read this one to like figure it out if it would work because it might be able to work.
Okay. Because the other thing is, if I'm gonna buy it, I would almost rather buy that entire volume. See, it says download full issue. Oh, look at this. 4 articles of the 15 recorded. Let's just do this. So look at that. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. So here's, can you see my thing that just, oh yeah, it's not, okay. When I download, yeah, okay, you're gonna spend a little time with it because I don't want you to have to answer on the spot because I want you to actually read it. Let me know. I can spend $40 on that article, or I can look to see how much it would cost to buy that whole issue.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that
Alright.
was all.
Okay, cool. So follow up. Oh, was there another source though, or no? Was that it?
There was, but I'm gonna do the same thing you did, and then if I can't like figure it out, then I'll go back.
Yes, yes, I like the way you're adjusting. Okay, just know I'm here for you. So follow up as many times as you need to.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
How you doing, Ben?
Tired and stressed, but that's
yeah.
okay.
Okay, well, let's get you some support. What can we do to
Well,
make your life
it's
easier?
mostly about like just school stuff, but